Okay, so today we will discuss about data sharing. Okay, it's very important topic. Uh, Data sharing is nothing but in Snowflake. In Snowflake, we can share data among several Snowflake account. Okay, first of all, there is a, like, let's say for an example, there is an account A. I can share my data from account A to account B, or from account A to account C, account A to, so multiple accounts. So let's say I have an account, I have this account. From this account, I can share the data to multiple Snowflake accounts. Okay, I can share with you, I can share with some other else, I can share with some other person. So from one Snowflake account, we can share the data to several n numbers of account. Okay. Now, for an example, let's say I have two accounts. One is account A, one is account B. A is our company's account, or maybe my account, and B might be some of the vendors' account. Or let's say, for an example, let's say we are working for XYZ company. Now that XYZ organization is having several vendors, and those vendors also needs the XYZ organization's data. So in those cases, this data sharing is important. So now let's say they have 5, 6 vendors. So they can share their data at a time to all the vendors. Let's say those vendors are also Snowflake accounts. So generally I can share my data with them. So that is what I'm saying here. Let's say account A is my account B is the target person's account. Now I can share my data from account A to account B, but there is two type of option is there. Okay, one is same cloud, same region account. Okay, same cloud, same region account. What does it mean? It means account A is hosted on, let's say, AWS. Account B is also hosted on AWS. Account A is in US region, account B is also in US region. So that means if the account A and account B, that means if the source and target, both the account, is in same cloud and same region, then this type of data sharing will be working. So this is what we call private sharing. Okay, this is what we call private data sharing. Okay, private data sharing. If your both the account is in same cloud and same region, then this type of data sharing, we call it as a private data sharing. Okay, so if you go to your account section here, you will be seeing that this is your account IR23671. Now you can see IR23671. This is my account. Now this account is in AWS. It is in the EU region. Now if I haven't, let's say if the target person is also having the account deployed on cloud AWS and region EU, basically this region, then what will happen? Then I can take help of the, but the simple thing, then I can go for it like private data sharing option. I can share my data through the private data sharing option. Okay, that is possible for the same cloud, same region data share accounts. Okay, now another one is different cloud, or different region. Anyone is different. So if the different cloud and different region option is there, then that in that case we need to take help of data replication. Data replication. Okay, in this case we need to take help of the data replication. Okay, now both of the things we will be understanding. So first I will show you private data sharing option. So first we will talk about same cloud, same region data sharing. Okay, and one more thing you have to understand. For an example, let's say you you are sharing with the data with the target person. And if the target person does not have any Snowflake account, that's quite possible. Like, let's say I want to share, or my organization wants to share the data with a vendor, but the vendor does not have Snowflake account. That means the vendor is not a Snowflake customer, because this data sharing will be working among the Snowflake account only. Okay. So if the target person doesn't have the Snowflake account, it's quite possible that one of my vendor is not a Snowflake person. That means they don't have the Snowflake licensing. It is possible. Now, in that case, what will happen? Like, if the target person doesn't have the Snowflake account, in that case, we have an option called reader account. We can create the reader account and we can share the data through the reader account to them. Okay. So right now I will do the exercise with the reader account only. And in the same case, if you have a target account, then you can share the data with the target account. If you don't have any target account, you can create a reader account in your account itself, and you can share the data with that account. And you can share the URL, user ID, password to the target person so that they can access. Okay. So that is what we call reader account. So let's go to the here. If you go here in this cloud symbol, you will be getting private sharing option. So let's go to the private sharing option. In the data products, you will be getting this private sharing option. Now here you have the reader account option. Okay. Now you can see reader account enables provider to share data with consumer who are not already Snowflake customer. That means if the target person is not Snowflake customer, in that case, you don't need to be a Snowflake customer. I can create a reader account and I can share my data with this account, and then I will be sharing the URL, user ID, password to you, so that you can also access the data from your site. Okay, this is completely your account. It will be completely your account. Okay. So let's create it. I'll click on the plus new sign. You can see, because we are working with the reader account, the reader account will be created exactly with the same setup of your existing account. That means whatever the current account, whatever this account is having, like it is in the AWS EU region, the same region and cloud it will be taking up, and it is non-modifiable. You cannot modify this one. Okay. Now let's say I'm writing the account name here. Let's say account name is admin. Username also I'm writing admin. And I'm going to create the account here. Okay. It is saying admin already exists. Let's make it admin1. Create the account. So you can see admin1 account has been created. Okay. Now, once the admin1 account is created, now this is what the reader account. It will take some time to up and running. Anyways, so till meanwhile, we will be learning some theoretical part here. So we are talking about same cloud, same region data sharing. That is what we call private sharing. Okay. So there are two type of account involved. In case of data sharing, there are two type of account involved. One is producer account. Another one is consumer account. Okay. One is producer account. One is consumer account. Producer account is nothing but who is sharing the data. That account we call it as a producer account. And consumer account is nothing but who is receiving the share. That we call as a consumer account. Okay. If you go to the okay, so this is so that means this account will be the producer account, and the reader account which I created, so that will be the consumer account. Okay, so producer account and consumer account. Okay, there are two type of shares are there. One is inbound shares, another one is outbound shares. Okay, inbound share, outbound share. Inbound share means what? whenever a consumer account will be receiving any share, that we called as a inbound share for the consumer account. And the same share for the producer account, it is called as a outbound shares. I am sharing my data with you. So for you, that is inbound share. For me, that is outbound share. Simple. If you go here in the same private sharing option, you will be getting two tab here. One is shared with you. One is shared by your account. So shared with you, these are all inbound shares. And shared by your account, whatever right now nothing is there, whatever it will come here, that is called outbound shares. So you can see shared with you, you have two database. One is Snowflake database, one is Snowflake sample data database. So that means these two shares are inbound shares for all of us. If you go here in the Snowflake database, you can see it is written as a share. So that means this database has been created from the shared database, shared object. This one also. So, and this has been shared by Snowflake. Okay. Snowflake shared with all of us. Okay. Remember one more thing. Whenever a consumer account receives some shared data, consumer account doesn't liable to pay the, or consumer account is not liable to pay the storage charges of this data which is being shared to them. That means, let's say I am sharing some data with you. Okay, I am sharing some data with you. You are not liable to pay the storage charges of those data which is being shared to you. Why it is so? Because whenever we are working with the same cloud, same region accounts, that means my account is in same cloud and your account is also in a same cloud and same region. In that case, from account A to account B, in that case, from account A to account B, data physically does not copy. We don't copy because both the account is in same cloud, same region. They reads the data from the same location. Okay. Data will be there in the account A itself. Account B just gets the privilege to read the data. And that's the reason you can see whatever data has been shared with us. If you go to your storage charges in your storage charges, if you go to your storage, you will see that these data has not counted for paying the storage charges. Why? Because these are all basically inbound shares which I received as a shared data, and that's the reason this data will not be chargeable for the consumer account. So if you share the data from account A to B, then B is not liable to pay the storage charges. So remember this line always, this is very important. So consumer account does not pay the storage charges. Okay, consumer account does not pay the storage charges, but this is only for this private data sharing case. Okay, so whatever I am saying, all are basically for the private data sharing. That means same cloud, same region accounts data sharing. Okay, so consumer account does not pay the storage charges. Okay, so never. So because the data is not moved to the consumer account, data will be there in the producer account itself. Consumer account will get the access to read the data, and that's the reason no storage charges will be paid by the consumer account for those data which is being shared to them. Okay, so that's all. So let's go to the again to the private sharing option. Let's go to the reader account, and now I'll copy the URL. I'll open it in the new browser. Sorry. So you can see it's logged into this account. So this is your consumer account. Okay, so let me go to the Okay, so right now only Snowflake database is there. I will share my data with that accounts. Okay, so let's go to the projects. Let's go to the SQL. Now I will start doing the activity. First, I will create a database called test underscore share database. I will be creating one schema called test underscore share underscore sc schema. Okay. Then what I'm doing, I'm creating one table called orders table, just referencing some other table and just copying this table. So create or replace table orders. I'm creating one orders table inside this database, inside this schema. Taking the reference from this database schema and this table, orders table, I'm taking only limit 100 means I'm taking only 100 records. Okay, let's copy. So the orders table got created. Now you can check it here. This is the test share database. Now you can see test share SC schema. You can see this is the table and orders table gets created. Okay, fine. Now I'll tell you there is a basically in the share cases, like whatever share related activity we do, that actually we do by the account admin or any role which is having the create share privilege. Okay, how to provide the create share privilege? Let's say by account admin role you will be able to create the share and all. Okay, but if you are not working with account admin, that means if you are not working with the account admin role, let's say you want to work with share, you want to work on the share details like share object with any other role, then you have to provide the create share privilege to that particular role. For an example, how will you provide that create share? Grant create share on accounts. Okay, on accounts to role sysadmin. Like that, you have to provide the statement. Like basically, you have to provide this type of activity. Okay, this type of privilege you have to provide to sysadmin. Or let's say you are working with user admin or any other role, so that role needs to have this create share privilege. Otherwise, by using that role, you won't be able to do that. Okay, by default, account admin is having this privilege. So by using account admin, you don't need any extra privilege. But if you are doing with any other role, that needs the create share privilege. Okay. So here 3 steps is there. First, creation of the or share. So for an example, let's say you want to parcel some item to your friend house. What you will do? First, you will be bringing some container. Okay, so maybe that is envelope or any box or something. Then you will keep all the item into that box, right? And then you will be write the address on the box, right? And then it will be delivered. This is the 3 step we do. Here also you can imagine like a same, but it is not exactly, but it is imagined like a same. So this is the create share. So share is an object here in Snowflake. It's an account level object. So we have to create a share object. So for an example, let's say I'm writing create share name. This is the share object I created. Okay, now once you created the share object here, if you go to the private sharing option and if you go to the shared by your account option, now you can see order underscore share you are able to see here. Okay, so you will be able to see that share whatever you created. Now that is what we called outbound share. So that's the reason I told you whenever I create any share, that is outbound share, and the same share whenever you will be receiving, that we will call as the inbound shares. Okay, if you go to the target account, you can see in the target account also, if you go to the private sharing option, you can see with shared with you is only one share you are able to see in the shared with you option, because whatever data I will share, that I will get in the shared by your account in this section. So that's the reason order underscore share is able to see in that section of my account. If you go here, you can see order underscore share you are able to see in the shared by your account, but the same share you will be able to see in this account shared with your account option. Okay, So let me show you. Right now, no share has been shared. So you cannot see here order underscore share. You will be able to see in some time. Let me create I created the share. So the simple thing, I brought the container. Now I will put all my item into the container. So for putting all the item, what I am doing, what is the item? Item is database schema table. So we are providing the access on the database to the share object. You are writing grant usage on database name to share name. What does it mean? It means you are providing the database access to the share object. The same statement we write for the role also, right? Grant usage on database name to role name. Now instead of role, we are writing here to share name. So grant usage on database test underscore share to share order underscore share object. So like that. Similarly, you are providing the access on the schema and you are providing the access on the table. Now remember, on the table level, you can provide only the select access. If you try to provide insert, update, delete access, it will throw you error, or it will not throw error. It will just tell you that is not possible. Why? Because whatever data you are sharing to the target person, that data will be completely read-only data. You cannot modify those data. You cannot modify those data. So those data will be completely read-only data. So for an example, let's say I executed this statement. Done. Now I brought the container, I kept all my items into the container. Now what I will do, I will put the address. To get the address, what I will do, I will go to the target account. I will write here select current account. Okay. So I will get the account name from here. Let me get it. So you can see copy. This is the locator ID. And that we will copy, and I will write here alter share name, add accounts, account name. So I put the address. Now I given the address. I brought the container. I kept all the item into the container. Now I provided the address here. So let's execute. Once the address is provided, now if you go to the target account, if you go to the private sharing, let me refresh here. Now you can see order underscore share option is enabled here. You can see, you are able to see this share here. Once I receive the share, I need to create the database on top of the share. And to create the database on top of the share, basically you can see this is the share. You have created a database on top of the share. Otherwise, you won't be able to use that shared data. Every share you receive, after that you have to create a database on top of the share. Now to create the database, you should be having the import share privilege. Like account admin automatically is having this privilege, but if you are doing with any other role, then you should be having import share privilege. Instead of create share, you need to write import share. So grant import share on account to role name. That is what you have to write. So this is the import share privilege. Okay. Now account admin by default is having. Other role, you should be, if you are doing with any other role, then you can provide the import share privilege option. So for an example, let's say click on that symbol. Now it will be asking you the database name. You can change it. Okay, you can change it according to your requirement. You can change it, or you can keep it as it is. Okay. And after that, by default, this database access will be there with the account admin. Otherwise, other than the account admin, if you want to provide this database access to any other person, you can select that role. So I selected here sysadmin. Now I'm clicking on the get data. You can see database created. You can see this is the database created. Now if you go here, if you check here, now you can refresh here. You can see this is the database that is created here. Now if you click on the database, if you can see this is the schema that I shared. Okay, if you see the table, you can see the orders table has been provided. Now if I write here select start from, let's say, I'm writing the database name, schema name, table name. So database name dot schema name dot table name. If I execute now, you can see, okay, I don't have any virtual warehouses. Let me create the warehouse first. If I execute, I will be able to see the same 100 records here. Now you got this table access on the, so that means you can see your target account are able to see your data, the same 100 record. Okay. Now, let's say for an example, I want to modify something in this table or I want to delete something in this table. So what I will do, I will write here delete from, let's exit, 1 second. Delete from this table, okay, where let's say O underscore order status is equal to, let's say, F. This is the order status is equal to F. I want to delete those data where the order status is equal to F. Let's say I'm executing. Now you can see operation is not supporting reader account. You cannot delete those data which is being shared with you. Not even delete. You cannot insert any data. You cannot update any data. You cannot modify anything in this database. Like you cannot modify anything in the Snowflake database. You cannot modify anything in the Snowflake sample database. Similar way, whenever you are receiving any shared data that you can't modify, you can see this is also showing as a share and you can't modify this data. So that you have to remember always. Now, let's say for an example, whatever changes I will make from the producer account, because I can change this data in the producer account, because producer account is actually the owner of those data, because producer account is actually the getting those data. That means this data resides in the producer account itself. Now from this account I can do anything. Right. So that is the reason. Let's say right now I want to delete some record from the producer account. So I can do. So 45 records got deleted. Now if you write here select start from orders, how many records are there? 55 records. In the target account, in the consumer account, how many records last time we have seen? 100. How many records is now? 55 records. So you can see, because both the accounts are reading the data from the same location, and that's the reason it will be always live streaming of data. That means whatever the producer account will have, the same data will available to the consumer account as well. That means consumer account always will be in sync with the producer account. If you modify anything, if you delete anything, if you update anything, everything will be working, like everything will be in sync with the producer account, or sorry, consumer account. That means whatever changes I will make in the producer account on the database, the same changes immediately live updation, it will be reflected in the consumer account as well. Okay, this is what we call live streaming of data. This is what we call private data sharing. Okay, for an example, let's say I want to share a view. So let's say I am creating a view here, and also remember the view has to be created with the secure keyword. If you don't create a view with a secure keyword, that means if you create a non-secure view, you cannot share the non-secure view with the shared object. It is not possible. You cannot share. For an example, if I remove this secure keyword and just I create a view, okay, and after that I need to provide the access on the view. So I'm writing grant select on view name to share name. Whenever I will execute, I will be getting error. What is the error? A view can only be shared if it is created as a secure view, and that's the reason we call it as a secure data sharing. Secure data sharing. Okay, now if I create the view with the secure keyword, so now if you execute this statement, now simply you will be able to see the view here immediately added. You can see the view got added here. Now let's say I want to create a materialized view. So materialized view class not yet completed. I will show you what is materialized view and all. But as of now, just create the materialized view, and that also you have to create with the secure keyword only. So create or replace secure materialized view name as select star from orders. So let's say I need to create the materialized view also with the secure keyword. So I created. Now after that, if I want to provide the access on the materialized view to the target person or target account, I can write grant select on the view name to share name. Same statement. It's not complex. Same statement. Execute, and you can see refresh here. That view is also accessible. Now let's say the orders table is being shared here. I want to stop sharing this orders table. Anytime you can do that. Just remember whatever statement you have written while providing the privilege. This is the statement I written while granting the privilege, like grant select on table name to share name. The same statement we will do. Instead of grant, I will write revoke. Instead of grant, I will write revoke. Instead of to, I will write from. Okay. And if I execute, so what will happen? The access, now you can see the table. Now if I refresh, table is gone. So whatever changes I will make on the producer account, that will be immediately reflected in the target account. So that is what we call private data sharing. Okay. That is what we call private data sharing, or same cloud, same region data sharing. Okay. Now these are all the some limitations are there for the consumer account, not for the producer account. For producer account, they don't have any limitations because all the data they are owning those data. That is their own data. So that's the reason they can do anything there. But for consumer account, because they are getting the access to read the data, for them we have the basically some limitation. What are the limitations? Shared databases are read only. As I told you, the database is read only means you cannot create any schema, any table, any object inside that shared database. Users in the consumer account can view or query data but cannot insert, update data or create any object inside the database. So from this account, you cannot create anything inside this database. You cannot create anything inside this database. Okay, so if you try to create, let's say I'm trying to create a schema. Create schema S1. If I try to create, so it will be throwing error. So it is not allowed. Okay, so that is the reason. Creating clone of the shared database or schema table in the database, not allowed. You cannot create the clone of this database, of this schema, or any of the tables, view, anything. You cannot create the clone of the objects or the database in the consumer account. Time travel features are not allowed for the shared database in the consumer account because it's a simple example. Because see, from the consumer account, you don't have the privilege to update the data or modify the data, and that's the reason there will not be any basically time travel features is applicable here, right? Next, editing the comments for the shared database, like alter statements are not allowed. Now, last point is the shared database and all the objects in the database cannot be forwarded. What does it mean? It means I shared the data with you. You cannot share the same data with anybody else. So that re-forwarding option will not there. That means I shared my data with you. So this is my shared database. Now this database you cannot share with anybody else. So carry forwarding option is not there. I am sharing with you the same data you are sharing with somebody else. So that is not possible. Okay. So whatever I shared with you, that you can use. that you can basically utilize for your own purpose. You can read the data, you can see, but you cannot share the same data with somebody else. So that is not possible. Okay, so that you have to remember. So if you want to do that same thing, then what you have to do, you have to create this data replica, or that means you have to create the copy of this database to another database. So you can create another database, and there you copy this data from this database to that particular database, and after that, that database you can share with somebody else, but not directly this database. And remember, in that case, whenever you will be copying the data from this database to any another database, then in that case, whatever data you are copying, so those data will be stored in your consumer account. In that case, you have to pay the storage charges also. Right. For an example, from account A to account B, I got some data. So that this is my account B. I got some data here. Let's say DB1. Now here all the data is read only. Okay. All the data is read only. So no storage charges to be paid for this DB1 database. Now let's say if I created another database called DB2 and I copied the data from the DB1 to DB2. Now this DB2 data, whenever I copied the data from DB1 to DB2, in that case, whatever data was there in the DB1, that is physically copied to DB2 database. And that data is not read-only. DB2 data is not read-only. In DB2 data, it is update modifiable and it will consume storage charges also. Until and unless you are using the shared database, you are not liable to pay the storage charges. But once you copy the data from the shared database to any other database, you are liable to pay the storage charges. Okay, remember that thing. So this is what we called basically same cloud, same region data sharing. Okay. Now another option we have, that is what we call different cloud, different region data sharing. If you have, let's say you want to share your data with a target person that the target person is not having in the same cloud, same region. So in that case, what will happen? So you have to take help of the data replication process. Okay. So how will you do that? So that we will see now. But remember one thing, whenever we are working with the data replication, basically both the account, like account A and account B, should be in a same organization. What does it mean? See, in case of private data sharing, account A and account B can be in different organization. What does it mean? Let's say I am working for XYZ company, you are working for ABCD company. Okay. Now I am working for XYZ company, you are working for ABCD company. Now my company has taken Snowflake license, and we have a Snowflake account. Now your company also has taken Snowflake license, and you are also in a Snowflake customer. Now you are my vendor. Okay, I can share my data with you. If both are in the same cloud, same region account, then I can share my data with you. Now for you, you are belonging from some other organization. I am belonging from some other organization, but we can share the data because we are in the same cloud, same region. That's the reason we can share the data. That doesn't mean that it means here, or it can be different organization. It can be different organization. Okay. But in that case, it cannot be different organization. What does it mean? It means whenever I am sharing my data with account A and account B, maybe account A is in AWS cloud, account B is in Azure cloud, account A is in US region, account B is in Europe region. So in that case, we will be doing the data replication. If I want to share my data from account A to B, I need to do the data replication. But remember, these two accounts should be in the same organization. Like I have an AWS from my organization, you have an Azure account in your organization. You are asking me to share my data from my account to your account. I cannot. I cannot means in direct way I cannot. Okay, so data replication is not possible among those accounts which are all not under the same organization. So in case of data replication, your both the accounts should be under same organization. Hope you understood this thing. Private data sharing can be different organization, no issue. I can share my data with all of the other organizations account if and only if they are in the same cloud, same region. Remember this thing. But data replication is possible under the same organization's account if they are in the different cloud, different region. Okay. So same organization account means if you go to the account section, here you have an account. This is one account. I can create multiple accounts from here. Whatever accounts I will be creating here, all will be under the same organization. So because we are creating the accounts from this account itself, and that's the reason they comes under the same organization. I'll show you. So you can click on the plus create account symbol and you can create the basically the organizations different. You can create the, you see, each account in your organization will have its own user, role, database and warehouses. So they all are coming under the same organizations. Okay. You can create through this symbol. I will create through the script level. Let's go to SQL part. Now, first of all, what I will do, I will create a account. To create the account, I need to write here the account name. So for an example, create account, I'm writing here finance is my account name. Admin name is admin. I'm writing here, let's say pin admin. Okay, password is this one, first name, last name. So basically this is the account name. This is the user ID. This is the password. This is the person name, person last name. This is the email address. This is the edition, which edition you want to create the account. You have to mention here edition. And this is the region. And this to get the perfect region, you can you can execute the show regions command. If you execute the show regions command, whatever region and cloud is applicable in the Snowflake, all will be listed down here. For an example, let's say you want to create an account with AWS and US East region. So this is the code. You want to create an account with AWS and EU Ireland region. So this is the code. So Snowflake region is the column. This is the code that you have to utilize. So for me, this account is in AWS. I want to create an Azure account. I will go down here. Once the AWS is finished, then Azure will be listed. Once the Azure is finished, then GCP will be listed. For an example, let's say this one, or maybe this one, Azure Central India. I want to create an account with the Azure cloud with the region is Central India. So I will copy this part, Azure Central India. This is the code, and that code I need to write here. Okay. And I will be creating the account. And see, whenever I will create the account, I will get an error. What is the error? Error is insufficient privilege to operate on the account. So it is showing insufficient privilege. So why account admin is showing insufficient privilege? So if you open your account also, you have an org admin role. So this type of activity we need to perform with the org admin role. Okay. So for an example, let's say for account creation is the activity of the org admin role. So let's create the account here. Now you can see the account will be created. It is created. Now if you go here and if you see the accounts tab, let's refresh. You can see this account got created. Okay. And this is the URL. And let me close this account and let's open it. So it will take some time to up and running. So let it be. We will do the other stuff here. Now the account got created. Now I'm going to create one database here called raw staging data. I'm just creating one database here. Let me select the account admin. Now I'm going to create one database here. Let me create the database. Okay. And after that, inside the database, I will be creating one schema called raw data SC. Okay. After that, I will be creating one table here. For an example, let's say I'm creating one table called employee underscore info table. Okay. So now you can see the database is there. This is the database. This is the schema. And this is the table. You can see this is the table. And also I'm inserting the data into the table. So 7 records got inserted. So right now, if you see here, in your table, you have total 7 records. You can see total 7 records are there. Fine. Now what I need to do, again, I will come here and refresh this account. So let it come. Yeah, it is coming. I will provide the user ID password here. So it is asking for the new password. So let me provide it. You came here. Now I will be selecting the account admin role here. Let me go to the SQL worksheet. Okay, fine. Now what I will do so I created the account got created. So you can see the account got created. If you go to the account section here, you can see this account this is my account, AWS EU region, and this is the target account, Azure and Central India region. So these two account, it is in the different cloud, different region. So I will be creating the data replication. So what I will do here, first for the both of the account, I need to set up the data replication to true. This is the parameter enable account database replication, and for both of the account I need to set it to true. So first of all, I will execute select current account. This is my account name or located ID. I will copy this located ID and I will paste here. Okay, and the same thing I will execute here. Let's execute, and I will be getting, this is the located ID. I will copy this one and I will paste here. So system dollar global account set parameter, by using this, actually we do this setup. And before going into that, I will be executing one statement called show replication account. Show replication accounts. You can see right now nothing is being shown here. Okay. Now I will try to replicate. I will try to set up these two accounts. Enable account replication, account database replication to true. Whenever I will execute, I'll get an error. Why? I'm doing it with the account admin role. I should be doing it with the org admin role. Remember, account creation and setting up the parameter to true for both of the account is the org admin's activity, because database replication is the majorly org admin's activity. So you can see it is became successful. Now if you execute show replication accounts, so now let me go to the account section, and if you execute the show replication accounts, you can see right now both the accounts you are able to see. This one is the my account. That means you can see AWS EU North region, and this one is the target account, Azure Central India. And if you go on the right side, you can see for both of the account, organization name is same. For both of the account, organization name is same. Because of this reason only, I can share my data with this account, because they are belonging from the same organization. Now, if you create any account in your from your account, basically for that account, your organization code will be different. And that is the reason data replication is not possible through the different organization code accounts. Okay. So I enable this data replication for this two account. Now next step, what I need to do is basically I got, so show replications account will be list down those account details which can be included in the data replication. So that means within this two account, you can replicate the data. You can replicate the data from finance to this. You can replicate the data from this to finance as well. For both is possible. Okay. These are all data replication. These are all like among this account, you can replicate your data. Now you have to basically you have to replicate your database. So alter database. So what I am replicating this raw staging data database. So I will write here alter database name, enable replication, two accounts. Here you need to write the basically your organization ID. So I am sharing my data to finance account, right? I am replicating my data. This is my account. This is my account. I am replicating data from this account to this account. Remember, I am replicating the data from this account to this account. Okay, I am replicating my data from this account to this account. So I will write alter database name, enable replication to account. This will be the locator. Sorry, this will be the organization ID. Let me copy. This will be the organization name, and this will be the account name. What is the account name? Finance. So let me copy, and this is the finance. Okay, let's execute. Done. Now we have another statement that I need to execute in the target account. What is that statement? This one. Okay, let's copy. Let's go to the target account. Let's come here. Right now, if you refresh, you don't have that database replicated here. Right now, you have to write here. So for an example, what is the database name? Let me see. This is the database name. Now let me write the database name underscore. Let's say I'm writing here replicated. Okay. So create database name as replica of, again, this will be the organization name. So again, I will copy this. I'll execute this one. So this will be the organization name. Let me copy the organization name. Here I will copy the organization name, then the account name, from which account the data is coming. From which account this data is coming. So it will be from this account, because I am sharing from this account to this account. So whenever I will write the code into the target account, from this account the data is coming. So I'll copy this name. That means this name will be copied. I will be pasting here, and raw staging data is the database name. Let's execute. So you can see it is created. Now if you see here, the database is created. But if you come here, the database, under this database, whatever the raw data is, this schema, this table, these are all not available. So to make it available, what you have to do, you have to go to the database section. And here you can see this is the database. Here you have a refresh option. You have to always refresh. It is not like your last example. In case of private sharing, whatever changes we made on the target database, sorry, in the source database, that was immediately reflected in the target database. But that is not going to happen in case of data replication, because data replication, in case of data replication, physically the data is being copied to the target account. That means data transfer is happening from the source to target. Data transfer is happening, and that is the reason basically here the data immediately will not be shown up. So that's the reason what you have to do, you have to refresh your database every time before seeing any changes which is made in the source account. To refresh that data, you can go to the database section, you can refresh from here manually, or you can write the code also. It's a simple code like alter database. This is the database name. refresh. This is the simple statement. Now every time no needed to run it manually. You can create a task and you can basically refresh this database through the task also. By basically you can create the task and you can include this alter statement as a definition of the task. That also you can do. So let me refresh. So once I refreshed, you can see so it is done. Now if I refresh this one, I will be able to see this schema. I will be able to see this table as well, like this way. Okay. Now if you see right now, let me create a virtual warehouse here. Now if you write here, select star from employee info table. Now you will be able to see 7 records, right? 7 records. Now let's say after some time I inserted couple of more records in that source account. Let's say I inserted 3 more records. And right now if you check your basically table, right now you have the 10 records here. Along with that, let's say I create a view also in this database. Let's say create view vw underscore nm as, let's say I'm creating a view also. Now I created the view. Now those changes will not be automatically reflected here. You can see if you refresh, that view is not coming here. Even if you write the query on the table, you can see till it is showing 7 records. If you want to see the changes, then again you have to refresh your database. You can see if you refresh your database again, then you will be able to see the latest changes what you made here. Now if you execute the query, you will be able to see 10 records. You can see 10 records, and also if you refresh, you will be able to see the view also. So like that. Okay, so this is how we do the data sharing. So same cloud, same region data account, and different cloud, different region data sharing. And also you remember, whenever you are doing the data replication for your source account, you will be charging the data transfer cost as well. So how much data is being transferred, that will be updated here. After some time it will be updated. Okay, so right now it is showing 0 byte. After some time it will be updated. So whatever, how much data you have transferred from this account to this account, so this will be chargeable, and that much of byte will be transferred. So that you can see here. Clear? Any doubt, any question? Okay, so that's all for today's session. We'll join again tomorrow and we'll continue. So this is what we call data sharing. Same cloud, same region, different cloud, different region. Practice this thing, otherwise you won't be understanding properly. Okay, thank you. Bye-bye.
The meeting has ended. Thank you for joining. Goodbye.